Looking at the Nasdaq 100 and the SP 500, we need to talk about what happened over the past 24 hours with this nasty drop. What was I looking at here and how did I play this towards the downside? And what am I looking at for next week? I'm going to go over exactly what I was doing today and yesterday and how I made money on this market and how I'm looking to profit next week as well. We also have some very volatile news coming out, most likely within the next 72 hours. You need to be paying attention to, as well as some big news going into the middle of next week as well. But before we even get into that content, I have to ask you to consider doing two things: liking and subscribing. Every single day, I am posting videos for you, unbiased, about how I'm looking at the market. I'll tell you if I have positions, if I'm liquid, and if I'm just sitting on the sidelines. I'll tell you in depth everything that I'm looking at here on the channel, absolutely free. But before we go into anything else, I want to also talk about what I did on the market today. I ended up closing my SPY puts. It's worth mentioning I closed those around this morning at around 1020 to 1040 a contract. Those absolutely printed. We got in at 690 and those went crazy. So that's what we looked at today. Next up, we were looking at Netflix puts, which I mentioned yesterday, and I got stopped out of those, not even at $3. I got stopped at around $3.15 because we saw a pump coming and we just got out of there for like a 10% quick loss. And that was it on the day. Besides that, I told everyone in Discord what I was looking at. And I said, look, you're getting chopped. There's no reason to trade the downside. There's no real reason to trade the upside. You're just kind of going back and forth. You traded in a 50-point range. That was going on. That's how I updated everyone. Now, fast forward to the end of the day. What happened? What are we looking at? Now, as we get in here, I want to start going into about the 5 minutes to 15 minutes, and I'll zoom out to give you a broad spectrum look of the market. Now, you traded in this tight range until about 1:30, about an hour and 30 minutes left in the day, and then you pop up through this finally. Now, in my opinion, for me, you were just sitting below the VWAP getting rejected all day long, that blue line. I was not looking to trade this. After lunch, I was just like, I'm just going to take a break. I told everyone no. Going into Monday, what did I expect? In Discord, I also led them and told them that I believe you would get some sort of bounce into Monday morning, Monday afternoon. Why? Because the railroad strike, which we've talked about here on the channel, I think a day or so ago, give or take, is most likely going to be resolved. Okay, they're giving them about a 24% raise over the next 5 years. Once that gets signed into legislation, then, in my opinion, I think they will agree on this. It's a pretty fair deal, and it's kind of everything that the railroad workers want. It fixes their problem. Now, again, it's important to know that this does not fix supply chain issues, like what's happening here in America. However, if the railroad went down and they actually went on strike, it would cause catastrophic issues. So, but by some chance this does not work out and nothing gets pushed out on this, I expect massive downside. Just so you know, it'd be catastrophic to our economy and terrible, terrible news. However, it looks like it's going to be resolved. Now, going into the market, you're starting to see that bounce near the end of the day. So I'm not wanting to trade the upside. Why? Now I'm going to go to the 4 hour and show you exactly what I'm looking at. Now, what did I show you yesterday? I said the key level we need to be watching is right here, from 11.96 down to roughly 11.92 roughly. That's the area we need to be watching. We broke below it in the after hours, and then as obviously we found a bottom down here, and then we started bouncing. Okay, what's happened here? What am I looking at? How am I expecting the movement? I am not looking to trade the upside, which is so minimal. Okay, so this right here is minimal upside. I'm not interested in that. Right? I'm actually interested in getting puts for the downside. Now, I still believe there's potential upside into Monday morning, so I just sat on my hands after I closed my position. And that position was almost around $4,000 to $5,000 in profit because it was a fairly large position, which I was covering in Discord the whole time. You can ask that in the comments if I'm lying. I went over all that in Discord, so I have no reason to lie there. But I'm not forcing a play yet, and the thing that I was looking at was IWM puts, which I'll go into later in the video. However, so you're seeing that rejection here right now, rejecting at the daily open, and you're also rejecting right at our range, which we mentioned from yesterday. So what was important about this? This was our support yesterday, and now is our resistance here at the end of the day going into the week close. Following up from this, I want to show you one of the ugliest candlesticks that there is. And you need to be looking at this. And if you're talking to someone or you're watching someone that is bullish on the economy, look, I just want to tell you to look at one thing. Look at this weekly candle that just formed on the Nasdaq, on ES, on the SPY, on the Qs. Okay, it's all of them. It's not just Nasdaq. It's not just the one I'm picking, okay? It's a bearish engulfing candle. You just took out all of that momentum that you just made and some. Okay, so off the bat, we're coming at this from a very bearish standpoint. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm liquid, so I don't have that position yet. I'm really looking forward to Monday to establish that position, going into FOMC, which I'll cover here in a second as well. But looking right now, I like what we're getting. I like what we're seeing, and I think it's playing out perfectly for Monday. But I want to let you know what I'm looking for just going into Monday. If you come in Monday morning and you get above this range, obviously, I'm not going to be looking for puts immediately. I'm going to be waiting. I'll play the waiting game. I'll create a plan. I'll sit and I'll wait and come to my decision later in the day. If you don't follow me on Twitter, the link is down below. I recommend following me on Twitter. I post a lot there as well. I can't post, on YouTube 3 times a day. I just don't have the time to do that. Okay. However, if you come out Monday morning and you're chopping below this region, I am bearish. Very bearish. Okay. So as long as you're below this region, 11.96 to locally 11.92 or in this range, I remain bearish. Okay. I want to make that very clear. That's number one. Going into SPY, you want to get a visual of this. It's a little bit harder to see here just because of exactly where you're at, but I'm going to go to the 4-hour very quick and show you. As long as you stay below this key level as well, I want to come in really quick and just show you right about here. Locally, this range around 388, I remain bearish here on SPY as well. Okay, but NQ is just the most beautiful chart that there is right now and gives you the best visual because it's showing you exactly to the T of where you're at. Okay. So that's my viewpoint. Obviously, where's my next target? What have I been talking about? I'm looking more for this level down here, 11.5 to 11.6 as my next major support. That's where my next target is on any shorts to what I'll be looking at. That's where I'm targeting us to go. Okay, next up, what are we looking at with news? Going into this week, you need to be prepared. Wednesday, very big day, very big day. They're going to give you actual projections going into next year and how they're looking at interest rates. Then they're going to actually give you your rate hike, which right now I think you're priced mainly at a 75-point hike, but it could be $1, could be a big surprise. Then obviously your FOMC statement. Right now, it's not looking like it's going to be a good statement. However, I'm not a mind reader. I cannot tell you what Powell and the boys are going to say. Okay, I just can't tell you. I can't read their minds. I don't know. Now, before that, they're going to have your building permits, which I anticipate to do pretty terrible as well. That's Tuesday. So I expect building real estate to be slowing down, not to be crashing, to be slowing down, which is what they should be doing during this time. Monday, not too much. Okay, that's what we're looking at there. Going into option flow, what are we looking at? Now, everyone told you today, they're like, well, today, Tyler, it's an OPEX day. It's, quad witching hour. It's this, it's that. Guys, look, stop listening to those people, please. Stop listening to those people. Stop, okay? Help yourself and stop. They weren't looking at where the volume was coming in. They weren't looking at where all the open interest was. They were just, it was Fugazi. That's what it was. Go look at the comments on my previous video. Just go take a look. People are commenting below the past 5 videos, basically, this week is OPEX. It's OPEX. We got to pump. We got to do this. I'm like, guys, stop. Just stop. Look right here. All your volume, all your open interest is coming into where? October 21st. And I guarantee if you take one step back and go look at the October 21st chain, you're going to realize it's incredibly bearish. Okay, so looking at SPY, okay, what's happening here? Biggest amount of volume is towards the aggressive sweeps towards the downside. You had a split here, but that's more of a hedge in my opinion. Just want to make that very clear. However, I'm still going to say you can see a majority of these are all towards the put side. What about Qs? Big tech. What's happening here? It's all puts. Spoiler alert. VIX. What about VIX? Volatility. Sky high. It's the highest of the week, actually. Okay. Coming in here as well. Showing you VIX. You're sitting at those highs, people, right? We talked about the bull flag yesterday. You popped out of it. Now you're coming back down. You're still above 24. So once again, I want to say very clearly, I am bullish on VIX. I expect more volatility in the market. Going into Bookmap, I want to talk about this really clear. Now, first thing I want to talk about here is not going to be the blue line. I want to talk about this red and green line right here. This is why I did not trade today. This is your CVD. I talk about it often. If you're not familiar with it, cumulative volume delta, Google it, look it up. Investopedia will explain it to you like you're 12. Now, CVD, it shows you the overall number of people buying, not the quantity of the order size, but just the people buying. Okay. So it's going to compare buyers versus sellers. Now we see the number of people, which I believe is a really good representation sometimes of retail, of what's happening here, are buying. You stayed green all day. We saw yesterday it was red all day long and you pushed down very strong. Today you remain green almost all day with minimal upside till the end of the day. Okay, now let's go on a little bit further into this blue line. This is your hidden order book. Think of it as your dark pool data, right? It's not going to show up on level 2. The blue line, you saw some buying all day, which coincides with that green line. You saw that some buying. And then what happened here in power hour? This is where things spice up. Extreme selling and shorting. Massive orders, the biggest orders on the entire day. While you were moving up, people, they were positioning themselves. That's what we're seeing. That's what I'm saying. I'm just telling you the data. I'm not lying to you. I'm just telling you what's on the screen, the data being released, like I do every day. I have no bets out there, no trades out there. I'm just telling you what's out there right now. Before I go any further, I want to give a special shout out to Hanka Trade. This is who I am currently using when I'm trading futures in the after hours or anything like that. You already know where I do my Bitcoin trading, and now this is where I'm doing my future trading using Bitcoin as well. You can trade the NAS and the SPX basically 24/5 using their platform. And when you're looking at account types to be using, the one I'm using is going to be the ECN Plus. I'll explain why, because I'm going to be doing a $1,000 challenge here on the channel, as well as most likely the new channel as well. So you can follow me along using the platform, learn how to use it as well if you're interested in using anything like this. And a key reason that I'm using Hanka Trade specifically is because, one, they're going to use my base currency. Two, if I ever want to do something like Forex as well, when it pairs well with something the way that the economy is moving, I can also use them for that. But it's also going to be very minimal when it comes down to these commissions, which can rack up. They're also going to give you the capability to go to max leverage. Now, I'm never going up to 500, but I am leveraging my money specifically on futures. And when it comes to trading any type of Forex or anything like that, based on what I'm trading and how my style performs. And just so you know, they are also running a bonus, giving you a 100% deposit bonus on whatever you're using. You can always withdraw your initial deposit, but you need to look at the actual rules for depositing the 100% bonus when you are trading it, because there are certain rules that apply as well. But they have a lot of promotions going on, so I would definitely be checking them out right now, because this is how you can trade some of the futures. So coming back into this, going into Nasdaq, looking at the market, as you come into resistance, as you're seeing shorts attacking the market here, I think it's not coincidental that you're coming right to our resistance. And where is it at? It's at the 9 EMA on the 4-hour, which again, you rejected back here when you bear flagged. It's at the daily open, and it's at our previous support. This is 3 strikes, people. It's looking very good for that downside. But I want to express very clearly, I don't have a position right now. I'm waiting till Monday just in case this railroad thing gets passed by and you get a little bit of bullish behavior. I just wanted that. I had a huge win on the day. I wanted to be patient. I wanted to just let this form out. I didn't want to be stressing over the weekend. I want to be able to watch my Sunday football with the boys, with my son. That's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be stressing, didn't want to be sweating over this. So going into this week, I'm really watching this range specifically. Going into ES, you're actually getting a bit of a break above this region, trying to push back to that 9 EMA, which you're still staying below. Worth mentioning. Oh, it's almost virtually the same chart. However, you're a little bit above this area. Worth mentioning, getting that push. So ES looks very similar though. But what I'm looking for is, can you get above today's daily, 3904 or 3900, roughly in that ballpark of a range. But you're still sitting below there. Okay. So as we look at all that, again, I obviously am extremely bearish here. Now I want to go over to JNK, the best source of a risk on, risk off market. What's happened here? Now JNK, what did we tell you yesterday? All right, I'm going to go to the 1-hour chart just so we can see both these levels. You are now testing your lows. We talked about it yesterday. Your lows from June. So it is not a surprise that you're trying to bounce here. And you bounced all day on JNK. However, I want to let you know, the last time you bounced, it came tumbling back down. If JNK breaks below these lows of 89.5, you're going to see pain and you're going to see a lot of it. the last time you broke local lows was back here at 94, and it was an immediate drop from basically 94 all the way down to 89, which caused a lot of drops on the market with SPY and Qs. Okay, looking at that. Next up, the US 10-year versus the US 30-year. The best yields to look at for an inversion chart. People were trying to comment yesterday, and people just, they want to find negative stuff here on the channel. And it's like, guys, we are not here to flip people off and always be right. We're here to spread information on the market. That's all I'm here to do. I'm not here to be right and to tell everyone I'm the best stock trader there is. Okay, there's probably someone better than me. I just tell you what the market's doing. Looking at the market today, yields, you actually got a bit of a pullback, okay? Not surprising. We've seen this before. When we start to go parabolic, we pull back someday, come back. So Monday, I'm going to heavily be watching this to see if we get back over a 1% inversion, which, again, subsequently is timing back up with the market of what happened and what is going to happen with FOMC. It's not coincidental that you're pumping into the Fed meeting, okay? It's not coincidental. Now, going in further, we're looking at the dollar. What's happening here? People keep telling me the dollar is topping off, and you're going to hear that a lot, that the dollar is topping off and inflation's going to cool. Look at the dollar on a daily chart. You bull flag, you break up. 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 And I'm sorry to break it to you, but it seems like, just saying, you're doing it again, ladies and gentlemen. You're doing it again. Now, as we look at this, I just want to let this be known. I still think the dollar is bullish. You're holding that key level we mentioned a few days ago as well as a support, and they're reacting stronger and stronger and stronger each time you test it. So dollar is bullish, which inevitably tells you that it's more of a risk-off market, right? That's what they're looking. They're trying to keep the risk off, which means market should drop. This is just what I'm looking at, just how I'm playing it. Now, wrapping this back up, going into SPY, I want to talk about this. SPY got dangerously close. We mentioned this level again last night, okay? I'm so heavy on these levels because I want you to succeed and be able to find these for yourself, okay? You came right down to the edge of that level, and then look where you're at right now. You're actually coming right back down to this level right here, which we mentioned could be a little bit of a support, a bit of a resistance, but that's now where you're trapped at. Okay, this is what I'm looking at. This is what I'm waiting for. In my opinion, if Monday morning you get a little bit of a push up, which could totally happen, something I am looking at, I'm looking for a test of this 388 level. That's where I want to see. However, it'd be really tough to see that. It would most likely just be a wick. It's your previous lows. It's where you found a lot of support. That's why I'm interested in that. But everything else, in my opinion, as you look at big futures, point to more downside, okay? As you look at the one-day chart, it wasn't the worst. You tried to hold this level. You kind of did on the one-day chart on the Nasdaq. However, as you look at the weekly, as you look at the bigger time frames, it's bad news, people, okay? So make sure you're being vigilant, you're being patient, because in my opinion, Monday morning will set up the rest of the week, just like it did this week, okay? So be prepared, be ready. I'll have the update coming out for you as well, most likely Sunday or Monday night. More videos coming. Have a good one.